And he came down, he said, I bet you can't do this. And he raises up from Steph Curry range. And he shoots an air ball. And I look at him, he like, that don't matter. It's the fact that I can do it and stay in the game. I bet you can.
Larry Joe Bird. Others called him Larry Legend because even though the NBA has many legends, the legends themselves tell legendary tales of this man. One called him the greatest trash talker in the history of the game. Another described what he did that had the opponent's bench staring at him like they'd just seen a ghost. Even Michael Jordan recounts the relief he felt when Larry Bird retired. We'll get into all of that and the unknown rivalry between Bird and Jordan. But before all that, let's begin with how the NBA players in his inner circle really feel about Larry Bird. And first off is Kevin McHale, his longtime frontcourt partner in Boston.
Nothing bothered him. Unbelievable competitor, great hands, great vision, great feel for the game, and just, could go out every single night and just play at an unbelievably high level. Didn't have to shoot the ball really well to have a good game because he did so many different things.
I'm thinking, my God, you haven't made a shot all game long. Don't do that now. So we walk over there, and Larry walks by the bench, and he tells the Phoenix bench, he said, nah, I'm fixing to jump out here, bust this play, and knock a three down on you and go home. And the bench looks at him and stuff. So Larry busts the play, jumps out, gets the ball on, kind of in front of their bench at three-point line, shoots it. As he lets it go, he looks at the bench and said, told you so.
Next is Magic Johnson, the rival who defined an era alongside him. Their battles in the finals were not just stylistic contrasts between Showtime and Boston Grit. They were chess matches between two players who elevated each other.
There's nobody that I ever played against that I love and respected more than Larry Bird. The man, listen, you couldn't give him an inch or he would just shoot it right in your face. He was dominant at both ends of the court. And so Larry Bird made me a better player, and I think I made him a better player. And together, we made the NBA better.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had already built a legendary resume before Bird entered the league, went even further. For Kareem mentioned what he believed made Bird unstoppable.
Against might have been, Larry Bird, someone like that.
How good was
Michael
Bird?
Jordan.
I don't think people look at him and think, he's a white guy, slow guy.
He's a chubby white guy. He wore us out, man. Because this muscle here, the one between his ears, that was his best.
It's interesting that Kareem noted Larry Bird's intellect, because we'll soon get to the part where someone said Bird couldn't shine in the modern NBA. Wait until you hear Isaiah Thomas's response to that. But before that, let's see how other legends in the Eastern Conference feel about him. Julius Erving had already been a cultural icon before Bird arrived. He had style, grace, and championships. But when Bird stepped into the league, Dr. J immediately saw something transformative.
This guy, I think he was born to play basketball. Seeing him come in and making the adjustment early, taking a team that had won 20 games the year before, and the next year, they're 40 plus, and the next year they're 60 plus.
Then there is Charles Barkley, who was never afraid of anybody and never short on words. If anyone would have dismissed Bird's mystique, it would have been him. Instead, he tells a story that reveals how personal Bird made competition.
I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback when he says.
Next is Karl Malone, who's one of the most physically imposing players of his era. He experienced that same Larry confidence, but from a different angle. For Malone, it was not just what Bird said, it was that he said it before it happened.
It was a timeout. And one of our teammates, Bart Kofold, had a camera. Right. He's taking pictures. So Larry Bird came over there and looked at our bench, and he said, 3-pointer. from right over here. So I'm sitting over there looking like that Babe Ruth, calling your shot already, right?
Yeah.
So Isaiah, I'm sitting there looking. He looked down at the floor. Hell, everybody looked down at the floor. He like he threw something. And he hit a 3.
Can you believe that?
And I remember Kevin kind of looking over at the bench like this is gonna be a long night.
A lot of fans today feel like Steph Curry is the only one capable of doing that, but because they've never watched Bird play. However, it all gets worse when someone who played with Bird talked down on his name. Dennis Rodman once said Larry Bird couldn't play in the modern era. But when Isaiah Thomas was asked this, well, watch for yourselves.
Oh, okay.
Only thing I'm gonna say is that's what Rodman said. If Larry Bird was playing today, he would still be the MVP of the league, and his team would still be winning championships. Because we just watched the Joker, who is very similar to Larry Bird, take his Denver Nuggets team and win the championship. If I look at these two players, and if I'm saying they're similar, then Bird probably win 2 or 3 championships in this era.
In this era right now.
Dominique Wilkins remembers meeting Bird for the first time as a rookie.
Fascinating. It was my rookie season, my first game I ever played against him. And so I go shake his hand, and he put both hands behind his back. And I'm saying, okay, he's getting his head ready to play. And first play of the game, he says, I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. Now, I wasn't upset he made the 3. I said, but this son of a gun just called me Holmes. I was pissed. And he said, hey, Rook. I said, what? He said, what? He said, I like you. You got, he said, you got balls, but I'm still going to get 30 on your ass. He got about 38, but.
Gary Payton, one of the fiercest trash talkers in league history, admits that Bird's delivery was colder than anybody else's.
I'm gonna take you over to this corner, I'm gonna dribble 2 times, I'm gonna hit your ass in the face, and it bet not touch the rim.
Wow.
And then he said, if it do, I'm gonna come right back and do it again until it touches. That's how Larry Bird used to get at.
Wow.
So people ask people about him. Motherfucker used to tell you, boy, you can't do shit with me. I'm too good for this.
Wow.
I'm gonna give you a Christmas present. This jumper in your face. He used to always say this, man.
Now, when people talk about the 1980s, they focus on Magic and Bird. When they talk about the 1990s, they focus on Jordan. What often gets overlooked in all this is the hidden rivalry between Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. And it all started during the Olympic breaks when an NBA All-Star team led by Bird played against a Jordan-led junior team. The incident was described here. And that is the origin of the famous Jordan meme.
Now look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
That day, Michael Jordan dominated the gym, and his college team beat the NBA All-Star. But unknown to Jordan, that would be the last time he would beat Bird in an important game.
Michael Jordan didn't beat Larry Bird. You showed Michael Jordan going between his legs one time in the highlights, against Larry Bird. And that was the game he got 63.
That's when he dropped 63 on Bird, yes.
But if memory serves me correct, they got swept. No, not lost. They got swept, okay?
Jordan's 63-point masterpiece is remembered as individual brilliance. What is remembered less often is that Boston swept them. In fact, Bird's Celtics swept Jordan's Bulls in back-to-back playoff appearances. And it was not just team success. There were clutch moments like this game where Bird asserted dominance.
It's great to hear all these coaches talk about they're really concerned as Bird hits a little fadeaway. They're really concerned about the minutes building up. They want to be fresh going into the playoffs until the game.
Overtime number 2. Bird, yes. Larry Bird heating it out to go in the second overtime. Bird with the fake through the foul and hits. 45 to go in the second overtime. Bird fires. Yes!
Or like this game winner over both Jordan and Scottie Pippen, two of the league's greatest defenders ever.
Third low. You can't double yet. Now you can quickly. Bird's jumper. Good. With 3.6 seconds left, Larry Bird gives the Boston Celtics a 2-point lead.
Everybody in this building had to know it was going on. Michael came over to help out. Celtics lead with 3.6 seconds here, 102 to 100.
As injuries forced Larry to slow down while Jordan was coming up, Magic told a story involving all three legends.
Larry and I were talking, and Michael walks in, and he says, "There's a new sheriff in town." And we both hit each other like, well, he's not lying.
When Bird finally retired, Jordan finally breathed a sigh of relief.
That you retired, thank goodness. I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing your face. Well, a lot of sad memories to me, but I enjoyed you tremendously. I wish you a lot of luck, and I think you had a very wonderful career, even though you probably ruined a lot of my successful games against the Boston Celtics.
Modern NBA fans and viewers today know almost nothing about Larry Bird. But the truth of the league's history is that before Michael Jordan, there was Larry Legend, and no one could stop him. It took arguably two of the league's top 5 players of all time in Magic and Kareem playing together just to keep up with him. And if you're curious how today's legends speak about another generational mind who controls the game the same way, watch how NBA players really feel about Nikola Jokic next.